Yeah, once more, good afternoon from Nigeria. My name is Tommy Joseph. Here this afternoon to once more make a broadcast on TBC. As many of you as will join me, I want to welcome you on this broadcast where we will need to go down on the basics and what obtains in this rollout phase. But before I do that, I would want to commend Pritam for the Hindi broadcast yesterday and also Umbe. I joined Pritam and he did a wonderful job. I also was able to catch up with Umbe in French because he's on delayed and look, they did marvelous, they did wonderful, and we need to encourage them. And as many of you as are out there, also we encourage you to pick up other languages from where you are and broadcast because at this rollout phase, we need to roll out in mass. And I really commended their effort for that. I commended Pratam. I also commended Umbe. And I think they did a great job and they need encouragement to keep on the fight. So, briefly this afternoon, I think I want to talk briefly about the basics. Why? Because times with our number, we may tend to ignore them, maybe tend to forget, but at least once in a while, we need a reminder because the basics are what is required for a new member in the community. For you and I who have been there, who can even now broadcast, who can come on air and talk about TBC, who have attended so much send button meetings, we have read the blog, we have watched the blog, we've joined others on their broadcast and shared with them, talked with them. We are conversant with too many things, but I think at this point in time, great, we need to get down some basics. Serenze, I can see you. I welcome you on board and I really want to appreciate you for joining me. Thank you very much. I missed out on your broadcast the other time, but I'm sure I'm going to join you when next you are on. So you are welcome. Sarinze is in the house, and I'm sure many also are going to join. Now, talking about the basics this morning, as a reminder, TBC is a private community, and we need to understand it is a private community. A private community with a private currency that operates also on the private principles, on the private understanding, on the private agreement that it stands for. It is a private community, a private currency that distinguished itself from every other currency out there on the market, be it a fiat currency or a cryptocurrency. The TBC stands out in its own class. The TBC did not join any other person in their own class. The TBC retains her own class and her own class alone. I want to bring back to our notice that TBC remains the first abundance based cryptocurrency. It was the first abundance based cryptocurrency, while others remain scarcity based cryptocurrency. And what does it mean to have abundance and scarcity? Abundance means it is there for everyone to get. Scarcity means it's only there for few to get. And that's what every other currency is. And TBC is not. So we are private community coming on the agreement that we have this coin, accept it as money and use it on a peer-to-peer basis among ourselves and build the community until we are 1 billion and the whole world accept it on our own terms. I want to remind you that TBC is one currency that the value is never determined by demand and supply, and it will never be determined by demand and supply. Its value will never be determined by the market forces. However powerful, however strong, however influential, whatsoever the means may be, they can never determine the value of TBC. These are basic facts that we will always have to have at the back of our minds when we go out in this rollout phase. Two, TBC is one currency whose value will continue to go up on a daily basis. The value never comes down. Why? Because demand and supply is not the parameter, but the parameter is simply means the number of people in the community. So, in a nutshell, the value of TBC will always be a function of the people in the community. A function of the number of people that join the community on a daily basis, on an hourly basis. That's what determines our value. For every one member that joins the TBC community, such a person have raised the value of TBC by 1 grain of gold. Now, also remember that the value of TBC is no longer equated to euro. Now it is a grain of gold. That also gives our coin a greater value because 1 grain of gold is over $2 in value. So that basic point need to understand. So when we say, like I was talking with someone last week and he was, no, this coin is a scam. How is it that one coin is about $8 million in value? I said, well, you call it a scam because you don't understand. But when you understand what it is and how it will come about the value, then you will know it's real and it's the best thing that's ever happened to mankind on planet Earth. And the person was like, how? I said, listen, the value of TBC is determined by the number of people in the community. And today we are about 3.2 million. So if you multiply that by the value of grain of gold in dollars, it will get up to 8 million. And that's where we are. And the value never goes on. Why? Because if you join now, as I was talking to her, a lady, the moment you sign up now, TBC's value has gone about 1 grain of gold. That means it's gone about $2 thereabout. So it's not a scam. This is it. And this point needs to be emphasized. Why? Because people out there tend to imagine, how is the value of this coin growing? What is the parameter? What's happening to it? Why? Because they think it's like any other cryptocurrency out there on the market whose value is determined by demand and supply. We said no. Our currency is unique, and the agreement we have is this value will go up by every member that joins the community, and it can never go down. So the value will only keep going up until there are 1 billion people in the community. At that point in time, when there are 1 billion people in the community, the value will be 1 billion grain of gold, which at that point in time, the value of 1 TBC coin will be over $2 billion. At that point in time, that's the peak. Even if 1 billion more people join the community, they are welcome. But at that point in time, the value of TBC will never go up again. It has reached the ultimate price, and that is where it's going to remain. And with that, I think that's what the simple summary of what somebody out there need to hear, need to understand about the TBC community. And two, always emphasize that joining the community is free. And whoever joins the community, we don't ask for money first. We give out a gift. At this stage, we are in the sharing phase. We are in the rollout phase. There is still more coins in admin's wallet to give out. Like we said, it's an abundance-based cryptocurrency. It's not scarcity-based. There's still enough for everyone who wants to join the community to go out there and take. Take, for instance, you are coming in today, there's 25,000 credits for you to take. As soon as you sign up, your wallet, your back office gets created, get credited with that amount of TBC, and it's there for you. The moment you pay $10 wallet fees and you get a wallet, November, you redeem them. It's there, it's free. So the first thing the community gives you is a gift. First and foremost, take a gift. Get a wallet, put it into it, and wait. You can also buy more. So at this phase, we are sharing. These are the basic things we need to understand. We need to tell somebody out there. Oh, Raymond, I can see you. You are welcome. From New Zealand, I'm broadcasting from Nigeria. It's a pleasure seeing you on board. So like I was saying, so I am going back this afternoon on the basics that we need to understand. And now the next point I will want to make is now growing the community. The community has to grow for us to be able to get to where we are going. And where are we going? Our target is 1 billion people in the community. And therefore, for us to get 1 billion people in the community, it means therefore we will have to go out and recruit. And now at this point in time, this is what we need to do. We need to go out and recruit to build a community, but also most important is another thing we do along as we are recruiting. We also need to be engaged in the info war. Now I am broadcasting, and for those of you joining me, I'm also seeing TBC for life. You are welcome on board. Now what I am doing is I am engaging in the info war. When we go out to recruit people into the community, also for those in the community and those who are coming in, we also need to recruit many people into this info war. We need to bring our people on board for the broadcast. Why? Because the beauty of what we have is what the establishment and the elites out there are fighting. And the only way we can win the war is also to engage them, or else they can do us a lot of harm. Today, you can agree with me that information has gone info. Now, wherever you go, it's a pure technology. On the phone, every information comes. On the telly, it comes. On the laptop, it comes. And therefore, we cannot stay out of this info battle. And how do we do it? We need to get out to the people right where they are, on their handsets, on their tablets, on their phones, on everything wherever they are, we need to, because that's what the elites are doing. And therefore, we cannot but not only recruit, but also recruit people to join in the war. What I'm doing now is the war. And for those of you joining me, I also believe that you understand that we are on the battlefield. We are soldiers. What we are doing by broadcasting is simply to wage a war to counter what the establishment, what the elites are doing to try to stop us. I believe all of you out there agree with me that what we are doing is very, very, very unstoppable. And therefore, there are no two ways about it. We have come to stand. TBC has come to stay. It cannot go back. But as much as we bring in people to hit the 1 million target, we also need to bring in people to join us also in the broadcast. Like admin says, come, we need 1 billion billionaires. But that entails also to win this battle, we need at least 1 million broadcasters. And therefore, my aim of coming this morning and all the points I want to make this afternoon is A, wherever you are, as much as you are recruiting people into the community, also go out to recruit broadcasters. I was happy yesterday because after my broadcast at 1:30 Nigerian time, also my downline, who has just been in the community for about 2 weeks, made his own broadcast 2 hours after me. I was really very happy. And come Saturday, like I said yesterday, another downline who has been there for just about 3 or 4 weeks is also coming on board to make a broadcast. So when we go out there to recruit, let's recruit people in the community, but also from the community, let's recruit people to come on board and broadcast. Now, the question somebody may ask is, but how do I broadcast? Simple. I also asked that question. I thought I was never going to be able to do it. But the fact of how to go about the broadcast is everywhere if you can go out there to get it. Today, in the info world, everything you need there is on the internet. When I say everything, I mean everything is there on the internet. Go to YouTube, just put in how to broadcast, everything will come out. But most importantly, go on the blog. There's everything on the blog. I learned to broadcast on the blog. Why? Because I just simply went there and typed how to broadcast. And a clip came up. By the time I got through it, I discovered I can make a broadcast in 3 ways. So I didn't even have to go on general YouTube to learn how to broadcast. Though I have quite a lot of information there, which I appreciate those putting them there. But listen, I learned to broadcast on the blog. I just went on the blog and I found a material there, an article, a video, and I went through them and followed it. And today I can broadcast. At least I'm making the 11th broadcast today. So what am I telling you? Go on the blog. In this one, it's not difficult, but it may look difficult. It may look like, oh, it's a brick wall. Oh, I can't do this. But I want to tell you, you can do it. Just break that jinx. Go on the blog. Spend time and find out how to broadcast. When you know it, the next thing is, what am I going to say? There's a lot to say. Take a study of the blog. When you study the blog, you will discover that you will have 1,000,001 things to say. Why? Because you will have an understanding, you will have insight, and when you come out to talk, you may not only repeat what's on the blog, but you also put an insight. But the most important thing is that when you are coming from the blog, then we are speaking with what? One voice. We are speaking with one voice. And at this point in time, we have to speak with one voice. Admin have set the pace. Admin has done all that needed to be done for us to be able to speak. And therefore, all we need to do is go on the blog. Study the blog, reach the blog, watch the blog, and you will have more than enough to talk about almost on a daily basis. I got to a point I was like, oh, how I wish admin will allow someone to have more than a slot. But maybe that will come later. But it doesn't have to be on the blog. You can do more than one broadcast. But only one is going to go to admin for approval. Why? Because you will only have just a slot for a day. Yesterday I made a broadcast, and this morning I am making a broadcast. So it's just that easy. By the time you get discovered that there's nothing again in making a broadcast. Initially, I used to have my notes by my side, but now no. I go on the blog every day, watch some videos, read what is there. I get myself abreast. I'm always up to date with what's happening. And the moment I get up to date, when I stand, I can face the camera and I can talk. You also can do the same. You can do the same. And I think with that, I can leave it and pick another point. And the next point I want to pick is we need a unity. There has to be a unity. And I've come to understand that when we say go out there and recruit, the recruiter, the broadcast, and the cash flow, they all go hand in hand. Because until there's a recruitment into the community, you cannot build a broadcaster. And until there's a broadcast, people out there will not know you, and there won't be a cash flow. So these are things that go hand in hand. So when you go out to recruit, to have recruiters, you need to broadcast. And when you broadcast, when they come in, then that the cash flow also comes in. Because for most of us in the community, most of us no longer buy. Why? Because we have enough. Because most of us are TBCians. Some have TBC in tens, some have them in hundreds, some even have them in thousands. Now, how do we cash out? We go on the air, we defend what the elites are saying, the people believe us, they come in, join the community, and also we cash out. Why? Because we sell. So at this point in time, broadcast is a good way to defend what the elites are saying. It's also a good way to bring the people into the community. It's a good way to disseminate information about what TBC is and bring people in. And it's also a way to cash out. It's a way also to creating a cash flow for yourself. Why? Because today I go out, I talk to people, they agree, they sign up, they pay their $10 wallet fees, they make a purchase from me, I'm cashed out. Like I was saying yesterday, the issue of fiat is no longer exists. The issue of going to the bank, forget it. For instance, yesterday I went out. I was having problem with my network. Yesterday I was able to go out and I was able to buy a router now that keeps me on air on with TBC. I was able to make a purchase yesterday for $100 using TBC. Now the internet service I'm using on this broadcast is the one I bought yesterday, and I used TBC in buying it. How did it come about? We just went about and we were just talking. And come, all the questions they need to ask about TBC, they were putting it across, and I was answering them, and they got convinced. How did I get it? It's there on the blog. I'm speaking what's on the blog. Therefore, I'm in unity and in harmony with what obtains in the community. And therefore, we need that harmony with admin. If we get the harmony with admin, the way he is putting it out, look, to end this war won't take us long. It won't be long before this war will be ended. It won't be long because before TBC becomes an acceptable coin globally. It won't be long before you step to any shop and make payment for the cars you want, for the houses you want, for everything you want in TBC. I was hearing last week that now some nations are beginning to now think taking up to the cryptocurrency. Now, to me, that's the good news. When they mention countries, I'm not sure yet because I've never heard of it, but if that's true, they're not talking about TBC, but it means the cryptocurrency has come to stay. So now the year 2020 speculation is becoming a reality. If questions are taken then, none among them can match TBC. And therefore, we are showing the TBC community that we are making a strong headway. The world is coming to us. The world is accepting us. They are joining us. And it won't be long. Like I keep saying, nothing makes me happy like becoming my own bank. I am just happy about being my own bank. I don't have to go to the bank. I noticed something in Nigeria. Most of the markets that requires you to buy in cash are now drying up. Why? Because people are beginning to tilt towards where they buy in digital currency. Now nobody wants to go to the bank to take money and go to market to go and buy. Everybody wants to go to where he will just come out of his house, go to where he wants to buy what he wants to buy what he wants to buy, and get back to his house without going to the bank. Now they are using fiat currency. They are using credit cards to do that. Now it won't be long. You and I will have nothing to do with the bank. When that time comes, I am my own bank, and that's just my joy. And that should be now you are becoming a bank to yourself. You are the banker, and you are the owner of the bank, and you are also the customer to the bank. Everything you. And that's where we are heading to. So let's just continue in harmony, in unity, pushing these things, and before long, we will be there. Now, the other point also I want to emphasize is, as much as possible, I've watched so many broadcasts, I've watched so many people talk, but there's something I picked out. There are some that say things that are not there. As much as possible, let's patronize the blog. Everything is on the blog. And also, as much as possible, let's listen to other broadcasters. We'll learn a lot. Yesterday, after watching Pritam broadcasting in India and also lending an ear to Umbe, I joined Randy. And Randy said something that touched me. He said, look, when there's no inflow, there's no cash flow. And I was like, wow, when there's no inflow in the community, there's no cash flow. And that really struck me and made me to think, oh, what does Randy mean? What he simply means is, listen, when people are not coming to the community, you cannot sell. Why? Because virtually now, everybody in the community, one way or the other, has some TBC in their wallet, or at least a reasonable number of kringles in their wallets. And that made me think, oh, so now I also need the inflow into the community. So for the inflow, it's not only about building the community. No, it's about putting money in your pocket right now. It's about cashing out. Now the inflow is the cash flow. The inflow is the fiat we are asking for. It's the bank we are asking for. And I think we should take that one serious as, hey, now I work with a new concept. The inflow is also a cash flow for me. So as I am going out, as I am bringing in people, I am also bringing money into my own pocket. And another thing, he made me thought after, okay, now I bring in new people in the community. They sign up. They make their purchase. They don't have anything to sell. Why? Because they have to wait until November now to redeem their gifts and have something to sell. That also tells me, oh, anyone I'm now bringing to the community, I can also work with them. Go out there, bring people into the community. I make the sales to them and I give you 50%. And now that's how I'm making it. Now you come in or you go out, tell somebody about it, convince them, let them come around, let them make their purchase, and you take your 50%. I am cashing out. I am cashing out. Now I'm bringing the inflow into the community. I am also bringing the inflow into my pocket. And also I am bringing an inflow into the info war. So I feel this afternoon, we just need to refresh these basics, especially for those who will go up on the blog, who will go up to look for information. These are things they need to find, especially the starters who don't even know much, who have not been there, who have not attended enough send button meetings or gone on their blogs to read or watch too much videos. When they see things like this, I think it will help. And that's my main reason this morning for saying, oh no, let's go down on the basics. Why? Because in this period of inflow into the community, into the broadcasting network, also they need these basics. Why? Because they need to know it. Like, it took me time to know how to broadcast. I won't hide that from you. It really took me time. And I don't know how to do it. I have the system, I have everything. I've never done a broadcast. What I'm doing now, I owe it to TBC community. Why? Because they put me where I will learn to broadcast. They put me where I have to go and learn how to go on YouTube, how to use Hangouts, how to use whatever I am using. TBC taught me. And I think the TBC community is one community that we will always give a thumb up to. Why? Because they don't only put money into our pocket, but they also enrich us, they build us, they bring from the inside of us what we thought, what we did not know was there. I never thought I can sit down like this and face the camera and make a broadcast of the content that the world out there is watching me. Now this is one thing that TBC has been able to bring out of me. I just had Randy say, come, there's too much on the inside of you, come out and speak. Because until you speak, you are going to rob the world of the potentials on the inside. And I was like, wow, what is this? No, TBC is a community to be. TBC doesn't only put money in your pocket. It doesn't only end financial poverty. It also ends the poverty of ignorance. It also ends the potentials that you would have buried on the inside and take to the grave. They bring it out. And therefore, TBC is doing a great job. TBC is doing a great job. So for all of us that are in this community doing what we are doing, we will continue to appreciate TBC for all that she is doing. Appreciate admin, appreciate the leaders, and support them in what they are doing. Now our time is fast spent, but I think I may wrap up here by appreciating Serenze, Raymond, and TBC for Life for joining me on this broadcast. I'm sure tomorrow also I'll be live on air. And I'm going to check out for any one of you, should you be there, I'm also going to join you on our own broadcast. Thank you for joining me.